Brothers and sisters, this is Victor Callender. Today is 11th day of December 2025. It's now 1937 or 7:37 p.m. Pacific Standard Time where I reside. I am coming to you because this is almost nearing the season of silliness. Not the, of course, Christmas season, but that too. But it is coming close to the time where politics is in the air and those people who seek political office come to you as they do every 5 years or thereabout with the silliness and the foolishness of the lack of caring and understanding the issues that plague the masses. Listen, political elections have consequences. Who you elect, you're stuck with when the polls close on the night of election for 5 years. You may or may not see a lot of these ministers or parliamentary representatives. They may only go or come as it suits them relative to when they need you. And you have to be able to understand that elections have consequences. When you vote for somebody, you need to be informed and you need to operate within the prescribes of some electoral and emotional intelligence to understand that the people that you're voting for, that they may or may not have your best interests at heart. And how do you know that a person does not have your best interests at heart? Well, if they had been elected before and had served in the parliament in the House of Assembly of Barbados, and that person had no legislative fingerprint, no legislative footprint, then that tells you that they sat there and that they were basically an army of one. They cared only about themselves and they were not very interested in putting forward issues that would affect you and your family right across the board. Um, I saw a message out there today from young Kemar Stuart with reference to the 22 members of the Barbados cabinet who he believes to be bloated. And to be quite honest with you, I believe that the cabinet of Barbados is bloated too, and that some of the individuals who have been in the House of Assembly in Barbados are nothing more than seat warmers, no political contributions at all. I could call names. Top of my mind, right out of the bat, would be Corey Lane. I don't know why he occupies a space in the House of Assembly of Barbados. He is as useless as tits on a boar hog, to be quite honest with you, and should be gone from the House of Assembly in Barbados. He serves no purpose. They gave him a cabinet ministry, and he had a ministerial portfolio, and that was a devastating failure. So people like that, except for occupying space and ear, serve no good, mean no good to the people of Barbados, and should fastidiously step aside. That apart, I agree with young Kemar Stewart on this issue that the government is bloated. And at a time when you would offer austerity measures as it relates to compensation for Barbadians, and you, as the Minister of Education, Chad Blackman, has stated, looking at schools and the price of education, that is probably one of the greatest investments that Barbados can have. Education for both people in school, elementary through high school, and then on to university. That's a great investment. But the DNA of Barbados has changed as it relates to what Barbados intends to do for the people of Barbados, saddled with debt that they would have to pay back many generations down the road. We have people in government whose propensity it is to kick the can down the road. So that rising tide that is supposed to float all boats will not be able to float all boats because um, many generations from now, those not yet born would be saddled with the responsibility created by us today because of the fecklessness of members in government and our inabilities across the board to think outside the box. Some people cannot think outside of a wet paper bag, let alone outside of a box. Therefore, in this stead, I agree with young Kemar Stuart that we need to get rid of the bloatedness of government. If you're going to start to talk and make comparisons between apples and oranges relative to the dispensation of monies, let's look at the bloatedness of government. Why do you need four senior ministers? Why do you need that? So you don't. And why um, do you need 22 cabinet members? You don't. We need to start taking a good look at parliamentary salaries, as I stated in several posts before, and um, cabinet members, and freezing parliamentary salaries to equate with what the people of Barbados are suffering through. If people can't get jobs because the unemployment rate is high and the wage output for people across the board in Barbados has been stifled, then I think that members of parliament, to include the Prime Minister of Barbados, should have to go ahead and tighten um, their belts. Some people in parliament, as we well know, should be on a budgetary diet. So I feel that in this stead, Kibar Stewart is right on that issue. You don't need 22 people falling all over themselves, and still a government that, for the most intents and purposes, is ineffective on a lot of issues as far as customer orientation and results orientation, which is where Barbados should be headed to in an age of technology. It shouldn't take forever to be able to have the responsibility of those who are charged by having been given jobs in government to offer to the Barbadian citizenry the things necessary, whether it be those who are elected by the people of Barbados to serve as ministers in government or civil servants as a whole. So something needs to be done where we come into understanding the ISO standards, which have been brought up several times by people like Grenville Phillips in conversations in the past. I feel it is time for us now to put Barbados on a meritocracy based system and for people in government to be rewarded not on political cronyism, but on a meritocracy based system where it is fair and the playing field is level right across the board. I do trust that everybody will enjoy the season of festivities that are, ahead, the season that is ahead of us, and that you will do that in a safe manner, you and your families, and God be with all of you. God bless the government of Barbados, but more especially, God place a hedge of protection around the people of Barbados and their families. Have a great day.